When we hear this music, when we see these dancers, do we ask, what is this? Or do we just absorb what we are hearing and seeing? We know what to call the dancers. They are the PAN Ensemble, doing Japanese Buto, the strange, provocative, even cathartic, mysterious dance. The musicians have a name for their ensemble. It's this.
Nequaquam vacuum.
What is the etymology of that?
It's Latin. Nequaquam vacuum is a long story. It comes from a passage in the Bible. Taken on its own, it means the void does not exist, although the interpretation of those words in the Bible passage in Deuteronomy is debatable, really, amongst biblical scholars. But the real significance is that they ended up being used in a document called the Fama Fraternitatis that was the basis for Rosicrucianism, one of the 4 seals that appeared on the tomb of the Templars that Christian Rosencreutz found in Portugal, right? Nequaquam vacuum, the void does not exist. So that leads into a lot of weird Hermetic philosophy and history that informs our music and our ideas, and therefore Nequaquam vacuum.
What does that have to do with the music?
Well, what we play is improvised music and improvised instruments, for that matter. For the most part, we don't play genuine, the kind of instruments you can buy in a store. We build things out of scrap metal and found objects. And the music is improvised. It's done without any rehearsal. So it feels to me like we have to achieve kind of a space of nothingness, a space of a sort of a place of absolute zero when we're playing. Would be the ideal anyway, so that what's coming out of your hands is just spontaneous and isn't informed by any kind of rational judgment of your mind or anything. So we try to get pretty empty. You could say we're kind of a free jazz band, but I think that the aesthetic of our band is pretty Asiatic. It kind of sounds a lot of Asian music and stuff. So really, yeah, what we're doing is on the fringe of jazz. I think most jazz is kind of ordered in terms of chord changes and head arrangements, and has a certain structure to it. And what we do doesn't. I mean, there's no planning at all. It's just completely spontaneous.
Some say this music falls into the noise category. Not a pejorative, but a genre of music that dates from the 1980s.
It's like any other term. It's difficult to say where exactly it started and who defined it, and then, if anything, if you seek to define it, it kind of decreases its usefulness, I think. Everyone's idea of what noise is different. I think it probably started as an aesthetic of music that wasn't defined by chord structure and time signature, and what didn't use conventional instruments and didn't use conventional notation. It was just completely divorced from the previous history of music. At least that was the idea. And I think that, although that was certainly a worthwhile direction to go in, that right now me and the people I'm working with mostly aren't interested in rejecting the history of music. the world's getting smaller, and there's more and more of us doing this music, and it's getting to a point where we all listen to each other. You don't meet very many people that are purists into just one form anymore, or they think they are, but then as they find more and more things, I just think that the ideas that are expressed by one group other groups are being forced to confront those ideas and deal with them and incorporate them or reject them. No one's able to just create in a vacuum anymore.
Noah began playing this kind of music when he was 13, and he is passing it on to his sons.
This is Alexis Salvador Mickens and Konstantin Shojiro Mickens, or
7 and 5.
7 and 5, Alex and Tino, as they're known by their friends. And yeah, they're just terrific kids. We spend a whole lot of time together, and the vast majority of my time is not spent scumming around clubs and smoking cigarettes and talking to my beautiful friends. But the vast majority of my time is spent at my 9-to-5 job and then taking care of them and cooking dinners and building castles and just generally trying to keep this boat afloat.
And I missed the circus 2 years in a row.
Right, for example. They do have to make certain sacrifices.
Noah helps curate the music series at the Jasmine Tree Lounge. Music like this. And helps run the Radon label, for which his band and others record. Do you expect to make a living out of this?
It's not outside conception that I might at some point. I wouldn't turn down a living. The work that I do is, I think, worth a paycheck, and if the money were to start flowing in, I might set aside a little bit for myself. But for now, it's pretty thin, and I want to help other people out. And I know that, fortunately, there are people like me in every city who are doing the same thing, so they are willing to return the favor when I'm doing my thing, coming to their town. And it's just kind of this system of mutual support where no one's getting rich, but everyone is making music.